Hello? Is this a 2020 calendar? I'm calling from Jamaica. Is this a 2020 calendar calling from Jamaica? Yeah, my name is Dalsita. No, I'm not a scammer. Mr. calling to find out to see. I did talk to April and May, and June said still don't know what going. So we want to know what gonna happen for the rest of the month, like July and August. Cause August we normally go to a door. Now understand? Oh, my accent. Sorry, Missy. So we talk. I am saying what is going to happen for the rest of the year. Why don't give it all of the problem them one time and make we get over it so we can go to door and live with life. Yeah. Yes, miss. Another wave. When I say wave, you mean like beach wave or gallery wave. Miss. So what me gonna send back every miss what me I try to say. We have to have mask upon all them something there and more time we look like we're a thief, miss. So just make we take it all I wanna have to give it and we get over it and miss if you keep on a cut me my credit I got done and I can't get for tell but miss what me I say on I get power blasted nerves, right? I'm sorry, miss. Yes, I'll call that, miss. Sorry, miss. I get on my nerves.
Name Corona, surname Virus, nickname COVID, age 19, mother China, current boyfriend USA, ex Italy, Iran, Spain, crush India.
Miss Angie, Natalie, Talisa, and Vanille, me nah lie. Ladies uplifting and inspiring have a buzz and such things. Run go check them out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Them program up, it's loud, it's quiet like a lamb. Aired every Friday, 8:15 p.m. and you can send them a message via WhatsApp or DM. Tell your friend Peter, Paul, Samantha, and Madeline. Don't miss it. Before so grab paper and get your pen. And them say 10 out of 10. When me say tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. And make me tell you this, it's not the end. We soon come right back. We are forward again.
Boom! I done my fair present for the program on him. Ladies, uplifting and inspiring. Every Friday, 8:15. Make sure you log in. Facebook, IG, YouTube. Yo, yeah, yeah, me Queen Cleopatra. Big up yourself. Yo, Daniel, large. Feel Friday night come. Feel that Friday I come. Ladies, uplifting and inspiring. Make the whole of the people have fun. Anyway, make we tune in to the program now. We want to know how the discussion go. New York, Miami to Orlando. Whether you in your big house or your condo, we have to tune in to the program now. We want to hear how the discussion go. New York, Miami to Orlando. Whether you in your big house or your condo. 8:15 Friday night it start, and when me lock in, me now want to feel like off. Queen Cleopatra beautiful and smart with a good sense of humor for make people laugh. Natalie, they on the look good chat. Talisa, hot like a fire where a spark. Angela and Vanille, them capture man heart. But I no look alone and be a fox, them attack. And the black woman, them we a hand dance. Uplift, motivate and inspire them fast. A program hotter than 10 pepper sauce. Immigration law, you get your paper start. Olympian, we run past finish mark. Big artists from present and past. Pastor, preach, Satan, get cross. Doctors and nurses teach in a class. Yo, make we log into the program now. We want to know how the discussion go. New York, Miami to Orlando. Whether you in your big house or your condo. Boom, I done my fair present. Ladies uplifting and inspiring. Me say big up yourself, Queen Cleopatra, the thing sell out. Man.
love it.
Hello, 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 hello. We're live. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? It's Friday. Happy Friday. It's another week's edition on Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. This evening, we have with us our other co hosts, Angela and Natalie, and our beautiful attorneys who are Jamaicans living here, busting down bars right here in America, Mrs. Dione Winter Funde and Michelle Fanger. So, guys, I just want you to, in the meantime, share, share, share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend if you care. We want to make sure that everybody's ready. Get your water, get comfortable. Tell your friend that it's going down today as it relates to immigration matters. I'm sure you have concerns, you have questions. Feel free to drop your comments, your concerns, your questions. Now is the time. Opportunity comes but once. This evening, you'll be hearing about the new administration, what the attorneys think, new fees that there may be, denial rates, DACA, giving birth in the United States, and as it relates to non immigrants, immigration detention centers. A lot of us don't know what's going on behind those bars, academic studies as it relates to international students, and more. So I'm going to ask you, we're going to take another quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, guys, thank you for your patience. And I'm going to introduce these ladies and allow them to tell you more about themselves. Everybody has a story as it relates to immigrants. So, as you know, I'm Cleopatra, one of the hosts of Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, and Angela co host, Natalie co host. Dione Winter, I must say, when I first met Dione, I was like, oh my God, she is so bubbly. Like I said, I love her vibes. And when I got to know her more, she reminds me so much of myself. We
Thank
were
you, Queen.
you're welcome. We were teenager moms. We got pregnant as teenagers. When I looked at her, some of her postings, she went to school. She brought her child with her at school. I did the same thing. Like you name it, And Michelle, known her through a colleague of mine. Michelle is such a bubbly person, but I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. And Angela and Natalie, can you just introduce yourselves and then give it over to the guests, please?
Hello, guys. I'm Angela, one of the hosts of the Ladies of Uplifting and Inspiring. Tonight, I will be sitting and let the ladies, Mrs. Diani.
Angela, one of the hosts of
I'm getting a feedback.
Don't mind me, it's me sharing the program. Don't mind me,
Thank
Angie.
you.
I am in the process of sharing.
Okay, let me start over. I'm Angela, one of the hosts of the Ladies of Uplifting and Inspiring. I'm here tonight co-hosting, but I will be sitting and listening to Miss Diana Winter Pifunde and Miss Michelle Fanger while they tell you about everything that they need to tell you that you need to know tonight. So get your pen and paper ready. As Queen Cleopatra said, we are here to uplift and inspire. And I'm here with my two co-hosts, Natalie and Cleopatra. So, and that's Queen for you. So listening while we here to do what we need to do tonight. So I'm just going to be sitting back and let these two beautiful ladies host our show tonight. All right?
Thank you, Angie, for having me and for having us, I should say.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good night, everyone. My name is Natalie, and glad to have you guys on the show.
Natalie, I can barely hear you. I don't know if it's my phone, my earphone, or.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, good night, everyone. Natalie. Can you hear me?
Yes, better now. Thank you.
Yeah, glad to have you guys on the show for tonight. And I believe it's an awesome topic because a lot of people gonna have have questions to ask about immigration matter because we need to know what is going on, and this is an awesome topic for tonight because I have some questions because I told a couple of people that I know that tonight is going to be on immigration, so I have a couple questions to ask you ladies. So I believe it's a good topic for tonight, and just glad to have you on the platform.
Thank you so much, Natalie.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Mrs. Dione Winter Funday, can you just tell us all who is this lady, starting from girl to where you are now? Let us know who you are.
Thank you, Queen, and thank you, ladies, uplifting and inspiring. I find it an honor to share your platform with you. For the audience that do not know me, I am attorney Dione Winter Funday. I'm the queen of my law firm, piggybacking off of Queen Cleopatra's name, but I'm the owner, managing attorney, and founder of Winter Law Practice. We're a boutique law firm located here in Tampa, Florida, and our primary focus, you guessed it, immigration law. And I'd like to say, I always tell people immigration law chose me. I did not go looking for this career. I did not go looking for this profession. I think I was guided towards this profession. And I think, or I do believe firmly that I'm more than an immigration lawyer. I consider myself a counselor. I consider myself a legal rebel because I work super hard for my clients, and my clients become my family. Any client that have worked with myself or my staff will tell you it's not over simply because they were handed their green cards. We go on, I go to baby showers, I go to weddings later. So it's definitely a family practice that I have here in Tampa, Florida. I grew up on the island of Jamaica. I immigrated when I was 21 years old, so I like to think I'm very much Jamaican. And I have called the United States home for the last 23, 24 years. The bulk of that, 15 of those years, I've been an attorney. So I've worked in the immigration field for majority of majority of my life. I love doing family-based petitions. It's a passion of mine. Good morning from, what flag is that? I'm terrible. Is that Norway? I don't know what flag is that.
Sweden?
Sweden?
Yes.
I was close. Good morning, Sean Alfie. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so I immigrated here to the United States, called New York home for a bit, then Michigan. Now I'm in Florida. I think I'm a nomad by desire. I love giving back to my Caribbean community. I currently host 2 other shows. I have my own show on Wednesday evenings, Immigration Now, and then I also am the host of Top 5, which is on Sunday evenings at 5. So I always have my hand in something, and I think uplifting women, the topic, the ladies, the group, Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, I think that's super sweet because I love uplifting women, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful show.
Thank you so much, Diane, and empowerment. And it was my pleasure for you inviting me to your top 5. I felt like family for those 2 Sundays. Believe me, guys, it didn't feel like I was a stranger. They welcomed me, and that's what we're talking about: uplifting, empowering, each other.
Thank
And
you.
Michelle, what do you have to tell us about who you are? You may be on mute, Michelle.
Oh, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I was having a long contact. Well, hi everyone. I'm Michelle Fanger. an attorney. I'm located in Jacksonville, Florida. Like Deani, I do have my own practice. It's called the Fanga Law Firm, where I do majority of my firm. I practice immigration. But I do also do family law for Florida and taxes, because I realize that everything is kind of intertwined with some of my immigration cases, where like I might have a client who's going to go through a divorce, or might have tax issues that needs to be resolved before I do their application. So that's why I end up doing like other minor areas. But I'm also an immigrant. I've been through the process. I came here through my dad, but I came here at, I think, 18, and I went through the whole process. I lived in New York, where in New York there's a melting pot where you do meet with a lot of people who do have status, a lot don't have status. So you interact with them and you're guiding them along the process. Like you're going through and you can assist them with, you try to assist whoever. So I've been through that whole process, and I relocated here to Florida for college. And I decided to stay after, I found a husband. So
I love that. That's a good reason to stay. That's an excellent reason to stay, Michelle.
So I know that the standard of living is kind of high in New York. So I prefer, being here, having
the standard of living in finding a husband, or what do you mean standard of living?
Like the cost of living there is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted you to clarify, counselor. I just wanted you to clarify.
I think I have their own type of men. But I'm from the country, Jamaica, so
country girl.
The business of country as you can. So that's why I like it here. It's not fast paced, it's easy, laid back, family oriented. So that's why I like it here. So, but I do like the program, and I do appreciate the invitation to be on this program to inspire people and empower people, because I always think that we have a duty to others. Like along the road, I've gotten assistance from a lot of people and guidance. So I don't mind sharing and assisting others, because if we want to uplift ourselves as a people, we all have to help each other to get there. So I do appreciate it, and I look forward to being on today. And I'm excited about our discussion. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And we just want to say hello to Junior George, the man who is on Ride Along.
Hey, Junior, from the Ride Along platform.
Right, watching us all the way from New York.
This is so exciting. It's like having, it's like having daddy show up at school to see if we're behaving ourselves. Like, are these girls on their good behavior? So the latest Junior George, he owns a Ride Along platform where Cleo has appeared on, and I have both shows I do on Wednesdays and Fridays with Junior. So it's a pleasure to see him coming in to support us.
Thank you so much, Junior.
Yes, that's true. Welcome, Junior. I watch him every evening on the ride. I was on the show this evening while
with trivia
game. Yes,
his little trivia.
I was like, Junior,
so I was on tonight. So. And then I heard him bigging up Cleopatra. But I was there.
Next time, Junior, you have to big up Angie.
Oh my God. But yeah, so for those of you who are just joining us, we welcome you. We appreciate you every week, for you are the one who makes this happen. Without you, we are nothing. And it's almost 6 months since we've been doing this, and it feels like 6 years. Just because of you. So what we're talking about tonight is immigration matters. If you have any concerns, connect with us and let's discuss. And I am going to turn it over to attorney Mrs. Deani Winter Funday.
Thank you, Cleo. Thanks, everybody. It's hard to when you talk about immigration and the Caribbean, I think we could spend all night talking, right? So Attorney Fanger and I came up with some ideas, and by the time we came up with the idea, we learned that one of the topics we were going to talk about this evening, which was DACA, Deferred Action Against Childhood Arrivals. So essentially, you were brought here as a child. So as we were talking, we learned, and Attorney Fanger, thank you for pointing out that there was a new ruling tonight as it pertains to DACA. And when it comes to the Caribbean, I don't know that a lot of Caribbean people explore all their immigration options. I think our minds are so hell-bent on let me find a little man for married to.
Yeah.
Right? That I think that's all we think about. Or let me see if I can go work for some people in a Manhattan as a babysitter and see if they can sponsor me. So a lot of the conversation in the Caribbean as it pertains to immigration does not go outside of those very meager avenues. Like, we're not exploring employment-based petitions. We're not exploring investment visas. Or in my practice, I would say I don't see a lot of Caribbean people exploring other types of options. I don't know about you, Attorney Fanger, if you come across, having conversations like that with our Caribbean folks about all these other avenues that are available to them as it pertains to obtaining a green card in the United States.
Yes, yes, I've had that issue several times where I have to go through and explain to individuals like certain options that they have, like even with the DACA, like a lot of people are not familiar with it. Actually, some people I've spoken to thought it was just for Latinos. And I was like, no, it's for everybody. It's not for them alone. So like a lot of children are here, they migrate here with their parent who are also trying to seek their status. And I always have to mention that before, we had this issue the last few years with the Trump administration, that there is this option. And I also go to people and explain to them that if they have certain particular skills, they're able to gain their green card status, such as like athletes, or you have, like a doctor, or, like an engineer, like allowing them to understand that you don't have to get married. But if you do have these special skills, you can migrate and get your green card. Or ministers who are looking to relocate, or also people that do have funds. I would advise them of investing and how to get an investment visa and how to get here, so that people don't always have to think about, oh, it has to be marriage or it has to be through a family member. So you are right. A lot of people are not familiar with the other avenues by how to attain residency here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What you're saying, that interests me right there, Michelle. So for the viewers who are listening, you're saying if someone is a minister, like a pastor, or if you're investing, you can actually come through DACA?
No.
Investment visa. DACA, like children.
Oh, that's a separate entity.
I think we should spend some time clarifying some of those options. So the general theme we're saying is a lot of Caribbean people are not taking advantage of other options of migrating. You can migrate through religious visas as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about those children that could potentially benefit from DACA. Like Attorney Fanger just said, Cleo, a lot of Caribbean people think that DACA is for Latin people, because a lot of times, and I think it makes sense, because when you think about the proximity of the border, the Texas-US border, the Arizona-US border, a lot of times it is people from South America that come up through the border. So DACA, they're I would say the largest beneficiaries of DACA. I'm going to talk a little bit about what DACA is. And for our audience, Andrea, Junior, anybody that's watching, you are the messengers, because I find a lot of time the people who needs information is not sitting at the table. So we have to, it's like we are getting the message to carry, go get it. So they get out on a pen and say, no, somebody watch a show one night with Cleo, and two attorney upon it, and them say, true, me carry the baby come here illegally. The baby entitled to some kind of benefits. Right? And that is what DACA is. It is for all those children that were brought here illegally through no fault of their own. Meaning, mommy get a visa and we're not going to judge, but you send somebody passport, go back to Jamaica, you send somebody passport, go back to Colombia, and somebody bring the baby into the country. Right? The law seeks to protect these children because they were brought here through no fault of their own. DACA is not a pathway to a green card. So there's no green card. In fact, that's what the President-elect Joe Biden, there's a bill, he wants to send a bill to Congress to develop some kind of pathway for DACA recipients. All DACA is you get a social security number and you get a work authorization, and you keep renewing. You can go to school, college, you can work as a paramedic, you can do any profession you want. Yes. there's no green card, but at least, and you can't travel. You cannot leave the United States on DACA if you're here illegally. Because remember, you're here illegally, you know.
Right.
The point is you're here illegally, nobody's filing for you. But instead of you, and there are requirements that you either are enrolled in high school or have graduated from high school. You must have come here before your 16th birthday. So there are little caveats in there. But the point is, if you were brought here illegally as a child, Monday morning, you and your mom call up some immigration lawyer. I don't care if you call me. Call up and say, hey, do I qualify for DACA? Prior to tonight at 7 o'clock, they were not accepting DACA applications anymore. The Trump administration was trying to roll this back so you could renew your application. And just now tonight at 7 o'clock, they said, look, you can start accepting new applications starting Monday. Attorney Fanger, I'll turn over to you to see if you have anything else to add.
Okay, just one thing, like although you qualify, like for those who might qualify for the DACA, there's another important element that you can't be involved in any crimes. So that will go against you.
Yes.
So just ensure that you stay out of trouble if you qualify for this program, which a lot of people, and also like children do come here legally, but end up overstaying and having no status. So those children also do qualify for it. And as Diani has stated, it's not a clear way to citizenship as yet. And we're hopeful with this new administration, they will do some form of amnesty or something, allowing these children to become either green card holders or a citizen, because it's like you're in limbo. And when if the administration changes again, we might have the same issue again. So they need to address this upright and, figure it out instead of having people in limbo. You have to keep renewing. It's only valid for 2 years. They have to keep renewing every 2 years.
And my last renewals, Attorney Fanger, I don't know if this happened to you. I submitted some renewals recently, and they only got 1 year.
Oh, wow.
So this is, yes. Yeah, that happened to you too, because they were looking to end this program.
Put it in extinction. Okay. Yes. Wow. So are you listening, guys? I hope, like Diani said, get your paper, your pen, your notepad, whatever. And in the meantime, I just want to big up some people right here who joined us on YouTube. We're also live on YouTube tonight. Susan IJN, we welcome you. Sanjay Small, we welcome you. Andrea Bent, we see you. And thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm going to turn back over to you, Diani.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And if any questions come in, do let me know. Let me know. Me or Attorney Fanger know. And our numbers are at the bottom. I think we've posted the numbers if anybody wants to consult with us. We love working with our Caribbean community.
Yes.
We just not accept my yam banana tonight.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, tonight. Maybe if the banana them ripe.
Oh yeah, bumpy bananas, that is too.
Yes.
No, Diana, we don't want a ripe banana. We want some nice green banana, ackee and saltfish and dumpling.
So we accept. Okay, folks, I stand corrected. We accept banana tonight because tomorrow is Saturday morning. Change your plans. So and that's, I don't know if you have anything else, Attorney Fanger, you wanted to add to DACA recipients. I'm glad you pointed out the crime. If you're involved in a crime, it's gonna be shady. It's gonna be very hard to get because it's almost like a benefit if you have behaved yourself. So you've come here as a child, you kind of stay out of trouble, you've gone to high school, and it's a benefit.
Yeah, nothing is just as always with a lot of minors, they do get in trouble with their friends or hanging out, so they just have to be mindful of that because it does prevent you from getting some form of relief.
And I think it's timely because President-elect Joe Biden nominated Cuban refugee Alejandro Mayorkas, who is the drafter of DACA back in 2013 under the Obama administration. But this man is now nominated to lead Department of Homeland Security. Okay. So I think we are in for the next 4 years is going to be positive for immigrants. I do believe. I don't want to jump and be too happy about it. Yeah, I don't want to jump and be too happy, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
I'm optimistic too, but we need to get control of the Senate So, in Georgia, we have that election that's taking place. So we do need everybody in Georgia to go out and vote, so we could get those 2 new senators in, so we can at least have control. Because it will be easier from Biden to get things passed through if we have control. Because I know we're gonna get blocked. The Republicans are gonna block everything, just like what Obama. Everything is gonna be blocked,
Right.
and we'll be able to do like executive orders, but they could only do so much.
Well, President Trump did over 400. I think the Democrats, in my book, have been lazy when it comes to executive orders. Under 2 previous administrations, they were not as aggressive as President Trump. So I, Attorney Fanger, I'm not letting them off the Democrats to tell me, oh, we can only do so much. President Trump legislated the heck out of immigration using executive orders. I am expecting the same from incoming President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Like, we're done with this. Oh, we need this in order. No, that language is done. I think as immigrants, as voters, I'm going to demand that they fix our immigration system. They have to.
You see what Sean says, Dione, on the screen?
What Sean said?
I wanted to be a president, but all these fellas.
Sean is funny.
Yeah, so we just have to. It is right. Executive orders are good, but we need to get laws, concrete laws. So it is good that we're going to have them. And as I say, just as I say, with it's not immigration, but with marijuana, how they, pass through that bill now to change it, decriminalize it. So we do need to be active, as you say, going out, getting things done, and hold these representatives responsible for us. But remember, Georgia, they do need to go out and vote.
Yeah, definitely. If you live in the state of Georgia, support Stacey Abrams as she's rallying up those votes out in Georgia. Yeah. I think we have a couple questions.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. I don't think it's a question. That's a statement. I wanted to be president. If a big person,
we have two. We have 2 questions. There.
Oh, I guess.
From Andrea Bent.
Yes. If a big person overstays using a visiting visa, what is the first thing they can do?
And I'm guessing she means big person by age. So this person is not a child.
Right.
Okay. Because with the Jamaican, one guy say, yeah, big woman, I'm Mr. Lord, get us a big and fat. He meant that I was an older woman.
That's funny.
That was funny. So in any event, if an adult overstays, Andrea, the first thing I would recommend is that you consult with an immigration attorney, because we could read you the Immigration and Nationality Act and say to see where you qualify, but we'd spend all night doing that. So step 1, Andrea, you need to consult with an attorney, and they're going to ask you questions like, where's mom? Where's dad? Are you married? Because what we're looking for is somebody or a way to move you forward. And you, because you have overstayed, you have taken a lot of options off the table.
Yeah.
Because if you said to us, you're here on a visitor's visa and you're thinking about going back and blah, 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 we can open up a buffet of opportunities for you. But when you say you have overstayed, you've taken about half of the buffet off the table, maybe 3/4 off the table. So that is going to be a little bit more challenging. So I would recommend that you consult with an immigration attorney. What's the other question?
The other question is, what's the process for the church to get a green card for a member in the church?
Michelle, you want to go or you want me to go? I keep talking. Go ahead.
Well, usually the church will have to sponsor that individual by assisting them to get in a special visa. So if you do have a church and a pastor, you have to ensure, because I've had a client contacted me where they stated that they would assist the member and the member end up overstaying and they did nothing. So you have to ensure that the church is willing to sponsor you. And then, as Diane said, with that, you do need to speak to an attorney so they to guide through the process of getting it done.
Yeah, and I would say, Susan, the only thing I would add, if the person is outside and in status, let's keep them that way. We can explore, and this is not legal advice. This is educational information. We can explore like a R visa, a religious worker visa. That is something that we can explore for you. But Susan, I would always say consult with an attorney so we can sit down and find out, is this person going to be a minister? Is this person going to be a deacon? Is this person going to come and clean the church? We need to find out a lot of things about this individual in order we can pursue options for the church. I hope that helps, Susan.
All right. Thank you so much for addressing those questions, Dione. Like I said, everyone, guys, feel free. This is a moment to use the opportunity to ask your questions or whatever concerns you have, whether it is current or you just want to know. Here it is. You can get it right here on Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring.
Michelle, I have a question for you, right?
Okay.
If the person is illegal and their baby father is a green card holder, can the person with a green card marry to the person that is illegal for them to get their status in America?
Yes, they can. They can get married. They can go through the process. But the thing is that they do not immediately qualify for any benefits. So they still have to wait. So what can happen is that while it's pending, if that person qualifies to be a citizen, I'd recommend that they do apply to be a citizen. It will fast track the application. And maybe go ahead.
So the process is it long? Like you have to wait like a year or 6 months?
Well, no, it's the last I checked yesterday on one application, it was between 17 months to 24 months, I believe.
For which one?
The approval of the I-130.
Oh yeah, that takes a while. Yeah.
Wow.
That takes a while.
It does. So that's why, but it's good to get it in. So once that person become a citizen, it can, fast track. But you're not entitled to any benefit like work permit or anything of the sort while it's pending.
Okay.
Thank you for joining,
Thank you so much.
Talisa. She's one of Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring some ladies. Thank you. She's all the way in Jamaica. Welcome, welcome,
Hey,
welcome.
Talisa. Merry Christmas.
Hi, Talisa. We miss you. Well, I don't know about we. I don't know about your mom, but I miss you.
You know, Mama, I run on her today.
I saw a question where somebody asked, is immigration lawyers cost a lot of money? In that case of overstaying, do you take part payments? Well, an attorney charges a different fee. I don't usually comment on people's fees because, people charge their fee based on their expertise and experience. But all attorneys do charge a specific fee, so you'd have to consult to see what their cost is. And I always say pay the money because, you don't want something cheap and, you get screwed over in the end. And oftentimes some attorneys will do a payment plan where they do collect a deposit initial, payment and then allow you to make payments along the way. So hopefully I answered your question.
And Attorney Fanger, only because of the question Natalie asked, I want you to just talk a little bit about the difference between a green card holder and a citizen, and getting a green card depends on who you're married to. So I want, especially for the Caribbean community, because a lot of people think, oh, they have a green card, so I cannot get married. And I loved how you answered that question. You said, even though you have a green card, yes, you can get married. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, all right. The difference between a green card holder and a citizen, U.S. citizen spouse, or, potential spouse, is that if you're married to a U.S. citizen spouse, you're automatically given what's called an immigrant visa. So the process, while the process is pending, you're able to get like work authorization, while the case is pending. So you're automatically given benefits immediately once it's a citizen. But with a green card holder, you're not entitled to any benefits, as I've stated before. So what happened is that you have to do your application in stages. With the citizenship, you could do your I-130 petition for alien relatives and your adjustment of status. For a green card holder, you could only do the petition to establish that like the relationship. So the I-130s were a petition for relationship to establish it, whether it's through marriage or to that is your child, or to prove that you're a parent of a particular child. That's what the I-130 is. So you'll have to wait until that is approved. Once that is approved, you still have to wait in queue for a visa, an immigrant visa, to actually be available to you. So that's the only difference.
But there's no reason why you should sit and say, I'm not going to get married. I'm just going to wait. No, definitely you can go ahead and get married, file your I-130, and then later on when the person becomes a citizen, then you just bridge the two together. There is the option to go ahead, attorney.
That's another important thing too that I've noticed, like what I've done with my client. If you do get married and it's pending, after like 2 years, you no longer have to do an interview. In most cases, you don't have to do an interview. You automatically get a 10-year. You don't get the conditional. So I would recommend that you do get married while it's pending.
You said they don't have to do an interview, or they don't get the conditional green card?
In some of my cases, they end up not having an interview because they've met the 2-year requirement.
The 2-year burden, okay.
Yeah, so while like if you're married and it's pending, which is good, it's beneficial to you. Because the longer you're married, the more they could say it's not a fraud, it's a legitimate marriage.
Does that help, Natalie? I wanted to just clarify for you.
It does help a lot. But with the US citizen part, what if the person came up on a full scholarship, right? And they're married to a person that is a US citizen. And they're married, say for instance, the person married for just giving you an example, like five years, right? Do they automatically get that green card, or they get interview, or they don't get interview? Because I know Michelle was saying that sometimes they don't interview them, they just send the green card just like that without getting
well
interviewed.
If it's over 2 years and they don't suspect anything, like oftentimes they will go ahead. Like I've had cases where that's happened, where they just get the
but the interview is still possible.
Yeah.
But in some cases, if you've been married, because remember the statutory period is, for the conditional green card, is that you have been married 2 years or less. So green card is like all of that plays into it. And so even if you have children and you've been married for a year, you're still gonna get an interview.
Yeah.
So it's not so much whether you have children, it's the marriage. We're looking at how long have you been married.
Yeah. So the length of the marriage they look at to establish that it's a legitimate marriage and you're not in it, like you've been paid for it. It's a actual marriage. So they look at the length of time. That's why with me, when I do most application, if it's not a rush thing, I usually wait like over 3 months to actually submit applications. 3 months of being married, that individual being married. But sometimes I do move forward if they want to get it done quickly.
So what about like the fees? What about like the fees and what type of form would that person file, the fee and the form that would that person file?
So for that, I would recommend a consultation with an attorney, because now we're giving you're telling people what to do, or if the person wants to do the application themselves, Natalie, they can go to uscis.gov.
Okay.
uscis.gov, and on that website you'll find the forms, you'll find the fees, you'll find information, you'll find instructions, you'll find a lot of information on what the actual process looks like.
Okay,
I have a question.
Go ahead, Angie. Go ahead.
I have a question for Michelle and Deannie. For instance, just in case you've been in the States since 1986, right? And your daughter was 3 years old. Well, not even 3 years old, 2.5. And you didn't become a citizen till after she was 18 years old. Um, I know that she can't become a citizen. What step does she have to take to get the process going and to become a citizen?
Go ahead, Attorney Fanger.
Okay. Have you filed? So I guess you're saying no application has been filed. Like you have never petitioned for that child.
No.
Okay, you'll have to start the process then. The
Okay.
first step is to actually petition for that child.
Okay.
So the child doesn't have a green card or anything.
She have a green card and everything. She have her green card.
Okay.
Okay, so that's something different. So she has her green card.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so any petition?
No, she have her green card because she'd been here since she was 2.5 years old. She wasn't born here.
And when did the parent become a citizen? When she was 18?
Right after she turned 18.
She would not qualify for derivative citizenship. So you would need to file. She would need to file her own citizenship application.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
And that question leads. Go ahead, Queen, or if you want us to go into the next.
Right.
topic.
I was about to say that I know you attorneys have a lot to point out today, which I would really love for, as long as we have the time. I mean, I have time, but I also know that your time is precious as well, that you want to put forward. So one of them where we were looking at I'm not sure which one. Well, I'll allow you to go into the other one. We'll see.
I think I love Angie's question with the child. I thought she was going in a different direction.
Right.
So I think it's only good that we go into birth tourism.
Exactly.
Because her question, I thought that's what her question was begging me for, was birth tourism, because she was saying the child came here. So birth tourism, is for those individuals who come into the United States for the sole purpose of giving birth. So it doesn't matter your status. You could have been living overseas. You could have been here as a visitor. You could be here as an overstay. Once you have a child, once you give physical birth to a child within the United States, that child automatically becomes a citizen. I must add that the practice is frowned upon. It is not illegal, but it's not legal, especially when you use a visitor's visa for the sole purpose to come into the country to give birth.
Wow.
That is frowned upon. It's actually, they can cancel your visa if they find out that that was your purpose. Separate that from the mother who comes in at 6 or 7 months to go shopping and go into premature labor, treat premature labor, two separate conversations, okay? The beautiful thing with birth tourism is, and I thought that's where Angie was going, once that child turns 21, they can petition for their parents, right? And it doesn't matter if they've lived here in the United States. Sometimes they leave, come back, but once they turn 21, they can petition for the mom or the dad. Attorney Fanger, have you seen anything with birth tourism in your practice? Anything you want to add?
Well, the only thing, yes, I've seen several instances of people migrating here. I mean, not migrating, visiting to have children, but sometimes they'll be stopped at the border. So it depends. Like some officers will look at you and say, I think you're coming here to have a child, and they will send you back home. Wow. Or they will tell you have a week to leave the U.S. Like they give you, a week, 2 weeks.
To shop. That week to shop.
And go ahead, attorney.
No, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, in many cases, if they find that you're misrepresenting, they'll cancel your visa as well.
Yeah, and prevent you from coming back. So I've seen a lot of instances of that. But I always, cause people do call me to say, like I'm pregnant, what's gonna happen? But I'm saying, like, I can't tell you what to do. It's a chance you're gonna take because, like as she said, you could have premature labor. Anything could happen. So it's really up to you. And oftentimes it's up to the officers. Like some of them are really, like they take their job too seriously. So they will look at you and say, you know what, I think you're coming here to have a baby. No, go back home. So you just have to be mindful of that. And I know that another thing that they were having with those who came here to have babies, they were trying to say that you have to pay for
your medical bills.
And if you don't, they'll try to use it against you. So a lot of people are worried about that, which oftentimes you do have to pay for your medical. But, like some hospitals, they have, special agencies that will assist to cover costs. So you have to be mindful of that, which they do look at that if you want to go to renew, your visa. They look into that also. So just be mindful of that. But, like they can't deny if you have a child here, they can't stay, which I think the Trump administration was saying that if you have a child here, the child should not be a citizen, but, it's in the Constitution. You have that right.
Yeah, they were trying to roll that back, but that was no success because it is in the you're absolutely right. It is in the Constitution.
I got a question. As you mentioned about the Constitution, I know that they have increased the number of questions, right, Diani?
December 1st, I think they have a proposal to go up to 120 questions, yes.
Right.
For naturalization.
Right. So that you could probably expound on, real quick. But can they take out something out of the Constitution just like that, like they wanted to do with the fact where they take away the citizenship rights to a child who was being born here by a non-immigrant?
No, they cannot.
No, that would have to be done via an amendment to the actual Constitution, he couldn't do that with, like I said, an executive order or a policy or, that's I think he was just making noise.
He doesn't know how the system
He was just making noise. He was just making.
He got a toothy bird.
And it's so upsetting because a lot of people familiar with the leave him and they freak out. And that's what they're trying to do. Let people freak out, get nervous, go into hiding. But he can't do that. So you have to be calming people and say, no, he does not have that right. He cannot. So you just have to calm people.
Because when I hear him talking like that, I don't even listen. I don't even post or comment on it because any attorney worth their salt knows that's not how it works.
Right.
So for that is that I know, he can talk about it, birthright, citizenship, all he wants. He will have to go through a whole other process. Some of the countries that have regulated birthright citizenship, it's because it was not in their constitution. Mm-hmm. For us, it's in the 14th Amendment.
Yeah.
Of course, it wasn't talking about immigrants, it was talking about slaves. But we get to write, it was not meant to protect immigrants. I think it's just virtue of how things have shaken out in the U.S. But as it is written, the constitutional amendment, the 14th Amendment, talks about birth or naturalized. They were talking about Black people, African slaves. So we were fortunate enough, and that is why I'm going right field now. That is why when I see immigrants trying to separate themselves from Black America, it's very upsetting to me because we're benefiting from a lot of those policies that were put in place to protect African Americans or slaves. So we're benefiting from that.
And as you mentioned about protection, I have seen a little bit in the news, Diani, where in the detention centers, there's a lot going on that, the public doesn't know what's going on behind those walls as it relates to the women. Now, how can you take the right of a woman by doing a hysterectomy when she's never had any issues with, her ovaries or her uterus or anything like that to do a hysterectomy? Can you shed some light on that, for others to know what's going on?
All right. So I think what you're talking about are the women that go in with like minor gynecological issues and they're walking out being butchered by doctors in Atlanta and in some other states. I think that this one particular case came out of Atlanta. And so here's what we know about the immigrant community, the undocumented immigrant community, the ones that are detained. Typically, they have no rights. All their rights are stripped.
Really?
Not because they're taken away, but because they're voiceless. Who's going to listen to them? They're like a voiceless community. Like you and I hear the news, and what do? We listen to it, then we carry on with our lives. I think if any American citizen woman walks into a hospital for a minor procedure and walks out without a major organ in our body, we would have had an outcry. But what's happening with these women is that I think Attorney Fanger agree or disagree. I don't know.
I kind of disagree. Not only illegal immigrants, because remember in some states like Louisiana, they were doing it to African American women.
Well, right. So let's do African American and undocumented. So we can almost put them in the same pot. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. So what they're doing with these women, and a lot of them are going to the same doctor. And if they weren't comparing notes, they wouldn't realize that they would go in, for example, with something minor, like something might be going on with their stomach, and he would recommend a hysterectomy.
That's crazy.
And he would take out their entire female parts. And these women are left without any kind of recourse
to reproduce.
And they can't sue anybody. There's nobody to sue or anything of that sort. So it's pretty sad, but we see it a lot in the detention centers where these women are constantly raped. We know that they're raped. Yes, they're abused physically, emotionally, psychologically. So there's a lot going on with our detention centers, and I'm looking forward to this administration to see what they're going to do to solve it.
Wow. With that being said, thank you so much for shedding some light. We're going to take a quick break and we will come right back.
No matter what we go through, God love is true. If we reach out to Him, He will see us through. See us through. He will see us through. We are strong.
Said when I see you smile, I can face the world. Oh, you know I can do anything. Hi, this is Singing Street, and I want you to tune in to these beautiful ladies each and every Friday, 8:15 Eastern Time. Ladies uplifting and inspiring, hosted by the Queen Cleopatra, Kingside Natalie, Telisha, Angela, Vanille. I don't know what I said, the tagline, concern. Your concern us. Together we concern. So just check out on the IG, Facebook, YouTube. You don't know, each and every Friday. Singing sweet to them. I had a girl, and Donna was her name. Oh, Donna. Check them out. Singing sweet.
No matter what we go through, God love is true. If we reach out to Him, He will see us through. See us through. He will see us through. We are strong.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome. We are talking immigration matters. And this ad that you just saw with Dr. Gregory Horton, that's happening next Saturday, December 12, 2020, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And you can check them out on my page. There's the website that you can click to get more information. So where were we? We were talking about the detention centers, what happened behind those bars. And it's just atrocious to know that these things are happening to our women. Now, if we do these things, I mean, what's going to happen to the nation after this? I mean, with our two immigration lawyers tonight, Dione Winterfunde and Michelle Fanger, they have more for you. So I'm going to hand over back to Dione.
All right. Thank you, everyone. If you're just joining us, you have two Jamaican immigration lawyers here tonight joining the beautiful women of Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. We have covered so far birth tourism. We have covered DACA, Deferred Action Against Childhood Arrivals. And we kind of told those that were on earlier, if they know of a child that was brought into the United States, whether they were brought legally or illegally, and they don't have status, to inquire with an immigration attorney about their options as it pertains to DACA. I don't know if Attorney Fanger, you had anything to add to the detention centers, and what are you hearing, what's going on the ground, whether it's in Texas or Miami or Atlanta? Have you heard anything as it pertains to these women?
Well, in regards to the women and the issue that they're having now, where we had that whistleblower, I think it was a nurse that outed the administration, or what's happening. You do have organizations that are actually out there fighting for immigrants that are trying to file a claim, against the government on behalf of these immigrants. And in regards to those that are also raped, they realized that a few of those women who did make complaints were deported quickly out of the country.
Wow.
Now they're also investigating those officers and those detention centers. And I foresee under this new administration that they will be prosecuted, because you have several nonprofit organizations that are leading the charge and are always at the forefront fighting for immigrants within different communities. I've associated myself with two, where the college I attended, Florida Coastal Immigrants' Rights Clinic, in our community of Duval, we actually usually go to these detention centers to educate, detainees, and to find out issues that they're facing, and we try to address them. You can only get so far, because,
right,
to be honest, they don't view these people as humans, and that's the issue.
That's
in how they
disgusting.
treat them, they do not. Like, you could never look at them as human and treat them how they are, because I have not only for females, but also for males that are actually being also abused in these detention centers, where I have clients that are not given their regular, they're supposed to get brief, they're supposed to get a few things for hygiene, they're not getting it.
Simple things, toothpaste, like simple things that they're supposed to get.
Or they have several people in one bedding. And I remember one incident where I had a meeting with a client, and they were quickly trying to relocate them out of the detention center all the way, because I'm in Jacksonville, all the way 2 hours and a half to Duval. Not Duval, to Tallahassee. And I was like, why are they moving them? Because somebody had COVID. Instead of addressing the COVID issue, they tried to relocate them. And what happened was that detention center said, no, we're not taking them. We don't know if they have COVID. They weren't being tested. So they took them back. But what they did was lock them down.
Isolation.
Yes. If you go into those facilities before, when I used to enter, they smell, they reek.
Oh, there's a smell. And it comes out with you.
Wow.
It's when you walk in, it's almost traumatizing when you see your clients, and most will tell you. So you'll have a client who was fine. They want to stay here. They want to fight their case. After a month or two in those detention centers, they tell you, Gianni, make them send me home.
Yeah.
They give up. Even if they have rights or relief or options, they don't want to fight anymore. And these detention centers are privatized. So the government is paying the owners of these detention centers, their businesses, and they're not being run well.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're trying to do with a lot of these detention. They're trying to take it back. I think this new administration, that's what they're going to do, try to take it back from these private entities, because they're only looking for money, because the more people they get, it's better for them. But the thing I've noticed is kind of weird is that I actually went to a detention center in California, closer to the border. And I was surprised about that facility, how clean it was compared to the ones that I'm experiencing on this side of the coast, where they.
But you're in the Ninth Circuit. We're in California, all the way up to the state of Washington. Those immigration judges are very liberal, and they don't play. They don't play. I tell clients all the time, if you get arrested or anything, I'd rather you sit somewhere out west. Because the judges are very liberal, and they take care of their undocumented, because it bleeds. California bleeds into Mexico, so it's kind of like.
Yeah, and it gives them leeway because it's more lenient because they will give like family members a pass to come across the border after they
To come and see their family members. Yeah.
They're more lenient with time because I've had where, you know, clients, they're not able to freely talk to you about the issue because they know that they will go after them, retribution, once, you know, they get back to their rooms or facilities. And it's really inhumane how they are being treated. And I do want the Jamaican government to actually step in more for their citizens to try to speak up for them. You know,
the Jamaican who?
The Jamaican. I know they're not.
Jamaican what?
Because I know they don't care. Because I spoke to them where they say it's not their problem. They didn't send them here to commit crime. But most of these people sometimes haven't committed any crime. They did something like basically overstay, you know, or somebody being vindictive. They've been married, been abused, been vindictive. So it's really hard and harsh and inhumane what they're going through. And people do need to speak up more because protesting and talking up and talking to the local representatives will assist them in getting, you know, treated with some amount of humanity.
All right, we have one question here. Miss Bent says, if someone has a green card, then come to Jamaica to marry a Jamaican, what will happen in that case to the new marriage spouse? And how long does it take for new spouse to get papers? So let's do part one of the question. What will happen in that case to the new married spouse? So we have a green card, a lawful permanent resident in the United States. They're going to go to Jamaica and marry. So when they come back, the first step is for them to file the I-130. That is taking anywhere from 16 to 24 months, Attorney Vanger?
Yeah, for now.
So that's the first part, the I-130. So 16 to 24 months because of the priority. Because it's a green card holder, not a U.S. citizen, a green card holder marrying somebody outside of the country. So that's about 16 to 24 months. That's step one, Miss Bent. Next, once that green card is approved, it then gets sent to the National Visa Center. The Visa Center process can take anywhere 30, 60, or 90 days. It depends how long you take to submit documents to them. So now we're adding 3 months to that 24 months. We're now at 27 months. Once the National Visa Center is satisfied with everything you have sent, they will then send the packet. You hear them say they send my paperwork gone. They send your visa packet. They send it to Jamaica to the consulate. And then the consulate might sit on it for another 30 days, 60 days, depends on what their schedule looks like, in order for them to schedule you for an interview. So we're talking anywhere from 2.5 to maybe 3 years for somebody who marries a green card holder in the United States to come into the US. Keep in mind, a lot of things can happen that may affect this. I remember just in January talking to clients, not realizing March COVID is coming, or, you know, if there are some extra green cards, each country is allotted X amount of green cards. If there's some extra green cards left over at the end of the year, unused green cards, they are dumped and then they process some cases a little bit faster. So there's a lot that goes into play with that processing time. And I'll let you answer this, Attorney Fanger, unless Queen, you have anything to add, Natalie, Angie. Me and Michelle just take over.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's the purpose, actually, Diani, for today, for you guys to technically take over to educate the mass, you know, and I'm sure, you know, it's so funny for me when it comes to these questions and these lives, nobody wants to ask questions. And then at the end of the show, then they probably, oh, you had the opportunity to ask. So guys, feel comfortable. Feel free to participate. Now is the time. This is free consultation.
And they can say, it's my friend. Just say, I have a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah, just say, I have a friend who is going through this.
So, I mean, for me, I just want to share my little story. I came here as a visitor and then changed my status. Well, when I say change of status, not like a I-485, but I went and I got me an international student visa, which is a F1. And, you know,
you changed your status?
Okay, thank you for correcting me there, Attorney Diani. And after that, I was here. I was able to travel while I was an international student, and because I had my child back home, so it was an opportunity to, I could move just in case if there was an emergency. However, you always hear about the different stipulations. As an international student, you can't do this. You only can work 20 hours, and you only can work on campus. That's the only way you could get a social. So for me, my story was that somehow the social they sent for me, I didn't get it. So I did get a job at the school, but I was told that, oh, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get a replacement. I was like, who said so? And this was told to me by the DSO and the lawyers who they had at the school to help to if there's an issue with the international students. So I went to the office, I got me back a social, and I was able to start my job at the school. And out of that, I also got a job outside of the school because I asked questions. I would call immigration directly. So just to let you guys know, I'm not an attorney, but my personal experience is that don't feel afraid to also call immigration to ask questions. A lot of us feel that because we may be considered quote unquote undocumented or whatever, call and ask, like Dione just said. Ask a general question if you don't want it to be the fingers to point back at you, but don't feel afraid to contact immigration yourself. They are there to give you the information. And a question that I wanted to ask Dione for someone outside of this show is that how many misdemeanors one has to have as a green card holder before they could get deported?
It depends. There's some misdemeanors that do not trigger deportation. There's some misdemeanors that trigger deportation. So it's not the how many, because you can have, and it also depends on how they charge the crime, because you can have a prosecutor charge out like a misdemeanor possession of marijuana,
right?
But it's over 30 grams, that can trigger deportation.
Oh, wow.
You can have a misdemeanor with some marijuana and a scale that triggers trafficking. So you have a little scale with you. So it all depends. You can have a tampering, meaning you're smoking a spliff, which is less than 30 grams, and the police officer comes up to you and you eat it, or you hide it, or you crush it up and throw it away. That can trigger deportation because that's now tampering with evidence, which is a felony. So it all depends. And it also depends to when you got your green card and when you committed that first crime. So when it comes to deportation and green card and crimes, I want to see the full criminal history of the individual and see what crime can place them into deportation. Or maybe, it can be charged differently, the crime, or maybe they plead to something else. So it really depends.
On that note, one other quick question. So as it relates to crimes, what crimes, because a lot of people believe that when they become naturalized, oh, I'm a citizen. Oh, no, you're not by birth. So what crimes, if any, can cause a naturalized citizen to have their citizenship rescinded and face possible deportation?
Treason. Attorney Fanger, right? Treason.
Yeah, but also if you attain it by fraud.
And if you've that too, if you've okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, because if you get it through, say for instance, the father got his and then got his to drinking car, but they realized that some fraud occurred somewhere where he misrepresented something, they could yank his and also whoever got their status through him. And a lot of people are not aware of that, and they will say, like, which also a lot of people will do, divorce, like it's not the divorce wasn't done properly, and they go back into it and they're trying to petition for someone new, and then they could pull up that information and say, hold up, your divorce wasn't done the proper way, so that means you're still married, so it's bigamy. So they could rescind that. And in one case that I had was a father that actually had a child with the mother that he was married to now and petitioning for. But when he got married for his status, he did not list that child on his application.
So it's fraud.
And then he wanted to petition for that child. So then that was an issue. that, and he ended up losing his status.
But was he a citizen or was he a green card holder?
He was a citizen. He was in the
Did
military.
they denaturalize them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to denaturalize first, right? So even if you're a citizen and fraud, they find that out, or you do something, they have to first denaturalize you. Then they rescind the green card. Then they put you in deportation. But that's a good point. If there was any fraud in the underlying applications and they find out, they can denaturalize you.
Oh, wow. But Dione, a little fun fact here. Did you guys know that Jamaica is the only country in the world whose flag does not contain the colors of red, white, or blue?
Yep, I posted that, I think, a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were two of us, Eritrea and Jamaica, and then Eritrea added a color to theirs last year or this. I love that fact.
We're different. Yeah. Natalie and Angie.
This question is for Danny. There's a viewer that said if she is, what did she say? If she's a green card holder, can she file for her son?
Yes. Yes. You cannot file for your parent, but
that's what I told her.
You can file for a spouse and your child. You cannot, as a green card holder, file for a parent.
Okay. All right. Do you hear that, Andrea?
That question always throws me. I always have to think about it really good. I'm like, no, you cannot file for your you can file for your son.
So it's a citizen child only can file for parents, right?
Yes.
That's what it's okay.
Yeah, I did tell her that because I remember that if you're a green card holder, you can file for a family member.
Yeah, but only family member. You cannot
only
file
for your
mom.
For the spouse, for the child, or for. Okay. All right. Did you hear that, Andrea? All right.
My question.
Go ahead.
My question is, if you're a good worker, right, and can your boss file for you? Your boss, just like the church can help that person to get their green card. Can your boss, like you're a good worker, but you work in what do you call it now? What's that word? Oh my God. You know that you're legal, but you tell your boss, and your boss said, okay, I'm going to see what I can do. Can that boss?
I'm going to say it depends.
Yeah, it depends.
It depends. So if you're here and you're out of status, say for example, I'm in Jamaica and I'm an engineer, and I come here on a visitor's visa, and I'm now out of status. It's going to be very difficult for me, for my boss to file for me because I'm out of status in the United States. If I'm here and I'm in status, your boss can pursue for you some kind of employment visa. All right, there's a process in place. You know, you have to go through the labor boards to show that there's something unique about me for this job, why I should get the job. You will have to pay me a prevailing wage. Right? So you have to pay me, you can't say you pay me $6 an hour. So it has to be an above board employment offer. And you have to do a labor certification. So you have to announce this job. You have to, announce it, say, so other people can apply. And so it all depends, but the short answer would be yes. I don't know if Attorney Fanger have anything else to add to that one.
Yes.
So what?
Okay. Yes.
Go.
Your employer can petition for you, but also I'm not sure if you know about this, Diane, but the Trump administration was also trying to strict
until December 31st.
Yeah, but the court threw that out also. I think yesterday, where they increase, like they don't have to have limits on the amount of payment, and they don't have to. It's not as restricted as they wanted it to be, because they were saying that they were trying to do it to protect workers here.
They were doing it prevailing wage and above. Now all they have to do, I think, is prevailing.
Yeah. So that's a good. So your employer can do it for you. And a lot of them do the work visa for like hotel workers.
The H-2Bs.
Yeah, and the H1B.
Yeah, H1B, H2Bs, some of the Js. But like I said, you really want to make sure you're in status.
Yeah, out of status, and
If you're out of status, I mean, that's what I mean about you take a lot of things off the table.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are ways around, you can do waivers and all that stuff.
Right.
But once you're out of status, like this conversation doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Dione, as it relates to change of status, can one person have a particular status here where it's not a filing for like a family petition and change status? And what's the process to change status, please?
You can change status. So once you're in status, so think of immigration as an alphabet. Most of the visas have a letter assigned to them. So you can jump around statuses, but you want to make sure first you're in status. So if you're out of status, this conversation is not for you. So say you come here as a B1, a visitor, you can change to a F, student, then you can find an employer, H1B, then you can probably, where else would you go? I don't know if you can get married or you can wait for that H1B process. So when you're in status, you can change and jump around the immigration alphabet once you're in status. In some cases, we might have to send you out to be processed to come back in, but you're in status, so it doesn't really matter, because I've had where the process went faster if I sent the person back to the consulate post when I'm doing change of status. But change of status, once you are in status, you can change status.
What's the process to change status, Dione?
You use a, so if you're going, sorry guys, my laptop is about to die. So I'm just
Catch it.
So for example, if you have a B, if you're here on a visitor's visa, you want to change to a student, you have to apply for the student visa. So while you are in status, you would apply for the student visa.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing people have to be mindful of, like as we say, out of status. Like it depends on how long that you're out of status, because in some cases you are barred for a period of time, depending how long you're out of status. So people have to be mindful of that. If it's gonna take an extended time, and also if you have a status change that is pending and it's not approved, then it will also place you in some cases deportation. So
or you can do like an extension. It's not a part of the immigration practice that I enjoy when I'm trying to bridge pieces together, meaning we're doing an extension on one to kind of hold the other one in place. It's not something because it's like playing Russian roulette.
So, Dione, when do they use the I-485?
The I-485 is adjustment of status, meaning you are going from one status you're going up. So it means you're going from whatever status you were and you're changing to a green card. So you're going from B1, or maybe you're going from undocumented, you're going from I-140, meaning you've either petitioned for yourself, but you're going from one status, you're going up to the next status. That is called the adjustment of status application.
Okay, and then you want to tell them how they do that? For probably those who are concerned, how they would go about doing the 485.
So I will tell them where to find it. It's my malpractice insurance won't allow me to tell them how to do it.
Okay.
But if somebody wants to adjust their status within the United States, all of the information is on uscis.gov. uscis.gov.
Okay. I think Andrea had another question for you, Dione. Remember, she asked about the children filing for
the procedure to file. So anybody, not just filing for a son, so anybody who wants to file for someone to come to the United States will need to file an I-130 petition. Anyone. If you want to file for a family member, you would need the I-130 petition. All these forms, you should not be paying for them. They are on uscis.gov.
And they also come with instructions. That's a
and
good
they have
thing.
the instructions, the fees, everything is on uscis.gov.
Because I remember when I was doing my change of status, where I was using the I-485 from the status I had prior to get my green card, I did it myself, and I realized that once I downloaded the instructions, read them thoroughly, and if there was something that I did not understand, I just had to reread and, ask myself, what is it really asking? And then if I still wasn't sure, then I tried to contact someone who, like yourself, was much more an expert in the field. But
Absolutely.
I'm not going to say, guys, you can do it yourself, because then if we all do it by ourselves, why do we need lawyers? I think that we should always consult with an immigration attorney to assist us. I think that makes the process much, better, smoother, so to speak. So.
Yeah. And one of the things we're going to talk about is the additional forms. So typically the I-485, it'll just tell you what you need to fill in, all the data you need to fill in. They've now added a new form, the I-944. I know Attorney Fanger is going to talk about that. It's the public charge doctrine. In fact, just got a denial out of Jamaica on public charge. So it's out there. Essentially, if you're coming to the United States and you're going to be, if the officer determines that you can potentially be a public charge, then they can deny your application. So Attorney Fang, you want to talk about the public charge doctrine and the dreaded I-944, and why people should not even attempt to do this by themselves.
Okay, yeah, the I-94, this new public charge rule, as I said, they tried to find different avenues to prevent people from, migrating or, this burdensome on immigrants, which is a form that you're going to have to establish to the government that you're not going to rely on them for assistance, which is kind of hard. I'm surprised when Diani said that she got a denial, like for somebody who is out of the country, how can you really establish that?
Right.
And provide for yourself here, because obviously when you land here, you're gonna get a job, you're gonna provide for your family. So how can you prove that here?
Because of the attorney, it wasn't my case to begin with, and that's why it's really good, guys, if you can consult with a lawyer. First of all, the affidavit of support was deficient.
Oh, it wasn't.
And they gave them one chance to fix it, and they were not able to fix it because they were doing it by themselves.
Okay, and that's why it's important to talk to an attorney, because they're more familiar with the forms, they're more familiar with the changes. But a good thing happened, because with this form, which is giving attorneys headache, because today they'll say you have to submit it.
Tomorrow you don't.
Yeah, you don't have to. So you're kind of watching what's going to happen. So it's good that we have a new administration, because
get rid of it altogether.
Yeah, we'll get rid of it. So they are aware that it's burdensome. It makes no sense. They actually, I think it was earlier this week, another court ruled that it's not relevant. You do not have to submit it. Because it is burdensome. So you have to do stupid things, like if you have
a credit report, your credit history.
How are you going to have a credit report if you're not, allowed to have social, you're not allowed to work and all that stuff. So you have to establish, which is this is why it's gonna be a lot of applications that I think were submitted within October.
Didn't have to use it.
Yeah, you have to use it. But I had one that was submitted, and luckily, when my client went in, they went in yesterday, I was worried a little because we didn't have all the documents that they requested, because I kept saying it's not relevant, not applicable, because it didn't. And that I guess the officer, depending on the office that you have, that officer, I guess, was understanding of the issues. So they went ahead and approved the application. But it is burdensome because you have to prove, if you have assets outside of the country, you have to establish that. You have to provide documentation or proof of those assets. A lot of people don't really have assets. If you do have a home, it's a family home. If you're here in the United States, most people, they don't work. They can't establish that they have any funds. And also, people must be aware that if you do get some benefits, or people within your household are getting government benefits, it can also affect your application. So what they usually say is that if you're getting any food stamps, etc., that they require that people get a letter stating that it stopped, that they have stopped receiving that funding. So it doesn't only impact you personally, but those within your household. So you have to list those within your household, whoever is getting benefits. So that's what I always recommend to people. I know it's hard, but try not to get any benefits at this point, like food
Any
stamps.
means tested benefits.
Yeah,
Stay
it's
away
not
from that.
track you. So that's what I encourage people. But for some medical emergencies, you can go ahead and get those. People are always worried about that. You can. They will not deny because of that for medical reasons. But so the I-94, we're hopeful that this new administration will throw it out along with like several other irrelevant stuff that's just a burden on immigrants.
Wow, thank you so much for that information. Viewers, I'm sure you're listening, you're learning because we see some feedback coming in here. Thanks for the information. It's, very informative. And, people are listening because, like Susan said, you don't want to make any mistakes on those forms. It can also put on a dent in delays or probably
Yes.
denial as well, right, attorneys?
Yes.
All right. So, any other questions, viewers? Feel free. We're about to wrap up. And while we're doing that, I just want you to know that the Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring program we have coming in January, we have a sponsor who is on board who is donating 10 tablets or who knows, it could be more tablets. So, we want you to respond to our post that we post on our page about the tablets giveaway. Don't be shy, don't be scared. We want you to participate. I'm sure there are a lot of children in Jamaica who need this help right now. They have to be home doing virtual lessons and they don't have any device to get their homework done. So we here at Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, our sponsor jumped on board and is ready, willing to donate these tablets come January 2. All right, so check out our page for that. And we're also asking you to, we have a Cash App, it's Ladies Uplifting and I5, where, if you like what you see, support it, invest in us so that we can come forward every week and present to you different ideas, educate you, inform you, inspire you, motivate you. If you like what you see, just feel free to Cash App us. It's Ladies Uplifting and I5. Okay? All right. Attorneys, anything else you'd like to let them know?
For me personally, I just think I'm more into social, what's good for us as a community. For those in Georgia, as I've stated before, please remember to go out and vote. It is very important. We need to take over the Senate so we could get things done. Although, the president is going, and what I can say to our community is just to remain calm. I think we have 48 days, and we expect the administration to be aggressive in making a lot of changes to things that are impacting our community. So just remain calm. I know that people are worried even with the new changes in regards to the citizenship, application process. I would say just remain calm if you have a case pending. I foresee this thing being thrown out. And if you have any questions, I know that a lot of people are nervous and worried, but speak up, talk to someone, contact an attorney if you're worried about your issues, if you want to get sorted out, like getting your status straight. Like I've had people say that to me. They just want to straighten out themselves. So you can reach out to an attorney if you feel you qualify for anything. And I always say that if you think your child or you are a citizen and you have a minor child, please go ahead and try to get their status, their citizenship, because you don't know, with children, sometimes they get into trouble, they hanging out with the wrong people, anything can happen. So please, if you think you're at a point where they do qualify for it, please go ahead and try to get their citizenship done. That's all I have to say for now.
Thank you so much, Michelle Fanger. DNA or Michelle, anything about the fees? I know we spoke about that on our previous broadcast before today about fees increase and like denial rates. Or I guess we just did the denial rates, but anything as it relates to fees increase?
So that fell through. Remember, that was slated to go into effect. I forgot.
December
December
1, I think, or something like that. Some like the first week in December, I think.
Or was it October?
Yeah, that was October 1st.
October 1st, yes. So
first.
it was, and it fell through. So the fees did not go up. But I always say to immigrants, it doesn't mean you go back and sit on your hands because the fee didn't go up. Whatever you had planned on doing, continue doing it. I know there's like questions about food stamps. Listen, if anybody has a green card and they're on food stamps, it's hard for you to file for anybody because it's hard for you to convince the government that you or someone in your household is on food stamps and now you want to bring another person into the country. Okay, so keep that in mind. Does a green card holder have to be working? If you're petitioning for somebody, you need to be working because you have to show that financially you can support somebody. So you cannot say, oh, let me bring somebody into the country and you're not working, you're not filing taxes. So keep that in mind.
Okay, yeah, that's true. You have to file taxes. But if you don't meet the requirement, you can have a
co-sponsor. But you should be working. Even if you're not working enough, you should be at least employed. And if you're not making enough, you use a co-sponsor.
Yeah. But make sure you file your taxes. That's important.
And let me just tell you, Michelle, on the public charge out of my last case, they said it is a problem no co-sponsor can fix.
Oh, wow.
When it's so deficient, because if you're earning so little, it's like you cannot convince a service that your auntie or your uncle in Texas is going to support your entire family when you bring them here from another country.
Yeah, so what I always tell people like that I know that are not meeting it, I usually tell them to just try to do overtime,
and get another job.
You know, because this is what you have to do. And people in their council, they're willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in regards to fees, as I said, the issue that I guess the USCIS was having was that they required funding. Because, you know, they're self-funded by the fees, but they wanted additional funding that was not being approved because, you know, the administration was like, the current administration was like, no, they're not assisting them. That's why they're moving so quickly to, you know, increase fees so they're able to fund themselves. But I'm hopeful that with this new administration that they will give them some funding. So if they do have that funding, they wouldn't be too quick to increase fees. Because they have to survive. And if a lot of applications are not going in, they're not able to survive.
Oh, wow.
Okay, guy, Michelle or Diani, don't you have to have certain amount of money in the bank to show that you are petitioned for that family member?
No,
you just have to have a required income.
You just have to meet the required income.
Oh, really?
The federal poverty guidelines. If you go to the good night, Michelle, Ude behind you. Night, mommy. Oh, he missed his mom.
Yeah.
So I think so I think in the Caribbean community when people don't want to do an affidavit of support, that's the excuse they use. Like, I'm gonna have the money in the bank.
Okay.
There's no requirement for you to have money in the bank. I want everybody to go to USCIS.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought so, Diani, not just on that note that you said. I just thought generally they had to have money that they could support you.
No,
Yeah,
what you need to
me
have
too.
is to show your income. How much are you making? You can find this information, uscis.gov, and you look up federal poverty guidelines, and it will tell you for a family of 3, this is your income. The money comes into play if you are deficient. And if you're going to use assets to show that you can meet that requirement, and then you need to show 3 times the amount of asset. And that's when we start looking at bank accounts and what you own. But technically speaking, you do not need to show that you have money in the bank. What we need are your tax transcripts, your W-2, pay stubs, proof of employment. And then we look at the federal poverty guideline to see how many people are in your family, how many people you're petitioning for, and what amount of money you should be making.
And they said, can you repeat that information? USCIS.gov?
Mm-hmm.
And then federal poverty guideline, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And that will tell you, I mean, it's a really handy chart, and because everything we as immigration lawyers tell you is out there. We're not making this up in our heads, right? It's out there on USCIS.gov, and see somebody. Thank you for putting that up.
Yeah, and also, the only time bank statements come in really is if you're married and they're trying to establish the marriage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like to show you have a joint bank statement.
Yeah, that's the only time.
Okay, that's some nuggets, lots of information, guys. Soak it up, soak it up. You never know. Opportunity comes but once, right?
Listen, I think we got to everybody's question, I think.
Let's see. No, Susan, okay.
One
Oh,
question.
so
Feel better soon, Susan.
One question.
yes, Susan, and I just want to say that this Susan right here, she's going to be a part of our show coming. It's coming up with 2020 is ending, and we have 2021 coming, and we always have resolutions, new things, and like I said earlier, guys, just continue to support us. Like I said, we have a Cashapp now, Ladies Uplifting and I5. That's a Cashapp with a $ at the front. So Susan is going to come on our platform to talk about fashion. Okay, David Fashionable. She is coming with that on our platform, and she has some styles there. Oh boy, she is just she.
I
has
can see that already in her picture.
Right, she has that eye for fashion. I don't know how she does it. I mean, I'm a fussy person. I can say I'm fashionable too, but this is her right here. Let me just off the screen. Like, yeah.
I love. Is she a designer? Susan?
Well, technically, she doesn't design like.
Or she's a stylist.
She puts things together.
So she's a stylist.
Yes, a stylist. Yes.
Okay.
So that's coming, guys, on Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, or Fashion Corner with Susan Brown. So yeah, and thank you for supporting us, Susan. Feel better, okay?
Thank you, Susan. Feel better.
Better.
All right. So we're about to wrap up. Okay.
I have a question. Right? Do all the form you have to answer when they ask you the question a person of good moral?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you have to answer. You have to answer every question on the forms.
Uh-huh.
And if it's not applicable, if it doesn't apply to you, you can put NA. But you have to answer every single question. Do not leave a question blank.
Okay.
Yeah, because I noticed they ask like a person of good moral. So
that's for good moral character. Yes, you have to answer every question on the forms. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what is considered good moral character, Diani? Can you just tell?
There's no definition for good moral character. I always tell people it's like a deck of cards. It's like the golden rule. I won't lie, I won't cheat, I won't steal. There isn't a clear definition for good moral character, but it's anything that you wouldn't do, because it's like a deck of cards, and each time you do something bad, you get arrested, it takes away a card.
Right. That's what I wanted to
do. You steal something, it takes away a deck. You lie. It's something that you do which means you cannot sing in the choir on Sunday.
Oh,
like you have to be in good, like everything have to be in good standing, right?
Yeah, the house have to be in order. So one speeding ticket doesn't take away good moral character. 10 speeding tickets now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a crime and you're not getting deported, but that is showing a flagrant disregard for the law.
That's right.
That means you don't have good moral character. It's like the golden rule. It's like the golden rule.
It's a learn it and keep it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, things can happen, because we see sometimes what's going on even in our Black community, Black Lives Matter, right? Wherein a lot of us sometimes are arrested for things that we didn't do per se, in which we got to go prove ourselves innocent.
Right.
And typically it's where we are guilty before even proven innocent. So things do happen. And it's not like you are that continuous, repetitious offender. So
Right.
that's why I wanted Attorney Dione to expound on the whole good
Yeah,
moral
it's not
character.
forever lost. It is not forever lost because the statutory period is 5 years. That's 12 months, 5, 12, 60 months. So for naturalization, that's where good moral character comes into play.
Okay.
And it's not forever lost, right? And it can be one isolated incident or a series of little incidents that just say, you know what, you don't possess good. And it doesn't have to be legal or illegal. It can just be little things. And they'll say you don't possess good moral character.
Wow. We just have to be walking on chalk line, guys.
And it's not so hard, like just each time, I think, even as a green card holder, each time you have to think twice.
Right.
Like, how will this affect me? And I always tell people, you just got to draw that line in the sand. And you can just say, look, I'll go, whatever I do, I'll go right up to that line. I'm just not going to cross that line.
Right.
Then your life becomes very simple.
Yes, like just be on your best behavior.
Wow. Well, guys, there you have it. I'm sure you got lots of nuggets, lots of valuable information that you could use, or a friend or someone, a family member could use tonight. So we just want to thank these attorneys for taking the time out of their very busy schedule, their family life, to come on here on Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring's platform to share with us information that we would have to probably go and pay for consultation. So Mrs. Dione Winter Funde and Mrs. Michelle Fanger, we are delighted to have you, gracing our stage a second time. We're no longer strangers, right? So we appreciate you. We are more than grateful. And, just continue to do the best. Bust down bars, just bust down bars.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Anything else you have to say, ladies? Natalie, Angie, before we wrap up?
Thank you, Dione and Michelle, for gracing our stage tonight and for being our host. And we appreciate you. And I always appreciate Dione for messaging me and let me know that top 5 is coming on, because I don't miss her show. Even if I'm late, guys, I do not miss top 5. Sometimes I forgot and she reminds me, Angela, I'm on. She don't say the words, but she let me know.
She send you the
we
link.
We're about to go live.
Yeah.
And I appreciate both of you tonight. I hope you guys keep coming on. I hope we guys keep having you on as our host to help us out and to, educate people about the immigration law and about everything that they need to know, because a lot of people don't know everything. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate you both tonight. And you, Lady Queen and Natalie, it was nice to be gracing the stage with y'all. As y'all know, I barely come on here, but once in a while I'll be on and sometimes I won't be on, but the ladies understand.
Yes, and as you mentioned that, Angela, we just want to say to you and, let the viewers know to send up their prayers for you. She has just lost a family member, so she's going through somewhat of mourning, bereavement right now. So we'll just ask you to pray, put her up in your prayers, guys. Prayers can be too much. All right. So Angie, just stay strong for the rest of the family. I know you can.
I will. Thank you.
You are welcome.
I appreciate all your messages every day to uplift me, to checking on me. How you doing? Stop stressing out yourself. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. But you know how it is.
I try. It's all about upliftment, right? Inspiring, uplifting, encouraging. That's what we're about. Empowering. So you guys, thank you so much for staying with us tonight.
Thank you.
And for our viewers, upcoming, we have for next week, we're going to have on our platform Dr. Gregory Horton. As you see, he's also going to have a program the following day, which you saw in the commercial. And he's going to be opening up to us about his life in the athletics world, drop some nuggets, things that we would never thought of, so to speak. And the following week, on the 18th, we will have the Facts of Life with another attorney, Sekou Clark, and our life coach, Nicola Lopez. Now, for that show, guys, like I mentioned at the start of the show, it's 6 months now since Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring has been born. And for the 18th, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be having 2 shows on the 18th. One is going to be at 4:45 p.m. with attorney Sekou Clark, and our regular program time at 8:15 p.m. with Nicola Lopez. So we're ending the year in style. Is it okay to do something a little bit different sometime, guys? Right, so we're doing 2 shows on the 18th, 4:45 p.m. and 8:15 p.m. So stay tuned. And then on Christmas Day, we are going to be coming on. It's called the LU&I, which is for Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. We're doing what is considered a reunion. So we know during Christmas time, we get together as family, we chit chat about going down memory lane, those things. So we're going to chat and laugh. And if you want, just feel free to continue to support us, join us, and participate. It's going to be a reunion, guys. So we thank you for your continuous support, top sharers, top fans. And I also wanted to shout out a few people in this little segment here. It's like a shout out segment. And I want to acknowledge Sanjay Small. He is the owner of GMG Production. Every week he's on us, right, Angie? Every week he's very supportive.
Yes, he is.
Very supportive. Sanjay, we just want to acknowledge you. We also want to acknowledge our Olympians, our sponsors who are coming on board to help us to be a better program. So what we deliver to you will be not mediocre, but of standard and substance, so to speak. Winter Law Firm, as you saw and you heard from Mrs. Dione Winterfunde herself. Fanger Law Firm with Michelle Fanger, you just heard from her. Don Mafia. If you guys don't know our theme song, that was done by Don Mafia. Also, Zivan Naturals or Awe Star Cosmetics. That was the lady you saw early, Dione, from Sweden. So we just want to big her up and thank you for the support, Shanafi. Everything by Talisa, large up yourself. Myself, Coward Conquers Financial Literacy Consultant. So guys, for those of you who want your buying power back, working on your credit to get those low interest rates, you want to buy your dream home, your dream car, or just to maintain a great credit. The high score is at 850, FICO score 850. Who doesn't want that? I want my Lamborghini. Come on, guys. Who's with me? Who is with me?
You better stop. I love Lamborghini.
My son, every time he sees one, he's like, Mommy, that's a Lamborghini. And then my color is going to be purple. That's my favorite color, guys. So my Porsche, my Lamborghini, my Maserati, it's all going to be parked in the front of my home. Yep, I'm claiming it. Lady Trey, all the way in Canada.
You better claim that, girl.
That's right. Natural Mystic, all the way in England. Big up yourself. Now, we also want you to know about Major Mackerel's benefit concert, which is coming up. That's going to be also on December 12th, along with Dr. Gregory Horton's program. And I just want you to listen to this.
Check, come on, respect. This is Agent Sasko. Let you know I'll be performing live on Major Mackerel's virtual benefit concert. Zane, it happened December 12th and it's pay-per-view. You can get your tickets at majormackerel.veeps.com. That's majormackerel.veeps.com. You understand? Enough big artists watching Cape Town, Yellowman, Borough, Bantan, Admiral, Tibet, Fred Locks, Shakadimas and Pliers. Enough artists. And I don't know Major Mackerel himself. And I'll be performing live. So watch on There's No Drive. Check it out. December 12th. Mad something. We put your first and second and third. Watch your blessings come forth. Blessings come forth. Check it out.
That's right.
Dan Mafia represent Major Mackerel Benefit Concert. 12th of December. Make sure you check it out. King Yellowman, Capleton, Agent Sasko, Shaka Demas and Pliers. You don't know, say Admiral Tibet, Peter Metro, Burro Bantan, the great Major Mackerel himself, Prince Allah. I say, yo, you hear me, Fred Locks, yo, you hear me, that one you turn up, that one you loud, $20.99 US to pay that and member live streaming online. You see me, I say, so that one you go sell off. Let me say, Major Mackerel, big up yourself, my general, because you know enough thing you do for dancers. Support the great icon. You hear me? Backings by Rough Cut, you know. You don't know music by Turbozark. You know, so hosted by Drama. Alright, you know, just check out beats.com with all the details. You see me, I say? That enough, I say, yo, support that one, because we fully endorse it. Major Mackerel, big up yourself.
Lock up in our house, woman in the 90s. Black man get killed by police, whiteys. 2020 make it and galang now. We want see your 2021 go.
No matter what we go through, God love is true. If we reach out to Him, He will see us through. See us through. He will see us through.
Thank you guys for your attention. Thank you so much. Like I said, we will not be able to do it without you. So with that being said, I am going to turn over to, who wants to pray today? We normally end our show with a prayer. Who wants to pray today? Anybody wants to pray?
Because I always be praying.
Okay, Natalie.
You
want me to pray? Sure, I can pray. So let's bow our heads, close our eyes, and show reverence to the Most High.
Hallelujah, praise God.
All right. So Father God, we come to you today, another day, another Friday. We just want to give you thanks for this an opportunity where we could be sitting here in fellowship, so to speak, talking to our, among ourselves and with our viewers, edifying, inspiring, uplifting, women empowerment, collaborating. We thank you, Lord. We thank you for the voice. We thank you for providing for us. We thank you for our sponsors. We thank you for even the viewers, their families, those who are, during this pandemic, they were lacking and they didn't know their way out. You, I'm sure, provided a way for them. And just to remind you guys that we should always put our trust in Him, because when man fails us, He never fails us. Father God, we ask you to just continue to deliver us from anything that is hindering us. Let us be agents of change. Let us be more than ordinary servants to fulfill our purposes and recognize what our purpose, our talents, our God-given talents are. Father God, we thank you for always being in our midst, and we ask you to continue to be with us, never leave us. Bless this nation. Lord, you see the new administration that's coming. I'm asking you to speak to their hearts. And Lord, for the things that are not of you, ask you to protect us from it, Lord. Speak to their hearts, speak to their minds so that they make the right decisions. Again, we thank you for our sponsors. Continue to bless them so that they can continue to bless others. And we ask you to continue to use us, my Father. And tonight as we go, we ask you to never leave our presence. Just continue to be with us, abide with us, and have thine own way in our lives. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
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 All right. So it was fun. It was informative. I enjoyed it. I don't feel like I want to go. Feels like the reunion is already here. What a year was 2020. What a year, right, Deanne and Michelle, Angie and Natalie? What a year.
I think it's been all things considered, I think it was a positive year. We're
say
still alive. We've made some new friends. We're exploring new venues.
Yes, I would say so too.
Yeah.
So viewers, we wouldn't know you if we didn't come on this platform. You wouldn't know us. For that, we are grateful. We are, we just appreciate you every week. And like I said, feel free. We're going in a different way, and it's a positive way. We're trying to build our program. So like I said earlier, feel free to donate to our Cash App. It's Ladies Uplift, $, as you know, Ladies Uplifting, and number 5. And it's for a worthy cause. If you like our content, we have to get these people to come on here. It's not easy to get a lawyer to come on board.
Right.
Everything costs money. So we're doing it, we're generous there, but at times we have to think about the cost behind it. So that's why we're asking you to, just invest, support us. and just continue to support us. We appreciate you. Anything you gotta say, Angie and Natalie, to our viewers before we close out?
Shout out to our top question asker, Miss Andrea Bent.
Yes,
correct. Yes.
she was
She
very
was the one
active
who was
tonight.
asking, all the
Yeah,
questions. Nice shout
Love
out
it.
to her, and we appreciate her for that. Was some good questions she was asking too. So
Yes.
we appreciate you, Andrea. Big shout out to you, girl. Have a wonderful and
Oh, I
blessed
just want
night.
to say my mommy was on here, guys. You see that lady on screen? Doris
Miss Polly
That's
Rose.
my
Yeah.
mom.
Hi, Miss Polly.
Hello, Miss Polly.
Pretty.
So she's just endorsing us, saying that there was some very vital information shared tonight. Hi, mommy.
Oh,
She's all the way in Illinois, where Angie is. I hope you're all staying warm.
Stay
and
warm.
dry.
yep. It's cold. It's cold here tonight. Yeah,
Oh,
you guys
and
are in a
David.
warm
Right,
country.
David Morgan, all the
David.
way in Jamaica, Montego Bay. Thank you for coming on board, and I see you set an appointment with me. Oh, since I'm on that note, viewers, we just want you to know we upgraded our page. If you want to set an appointment with us, there's a link that you can click to schedule an appointment, and we're making it official. It's business, so we got to set it right. Okay, right, Diani?
Right. I love it. I love it. I'm so proud of you, ladies.
She responds. Hi, Miss Polly Rose.
Yep. So, guys, it's Friday. Friday. What are you gonna do after this? It's the weekend.
I'm going to my bed. Well, not really. I'm going to hang out with my hubby. Oh.
You go, girl.
I got my kids too. They're up. But Diani and Michelle, I pray that the good Lord will continue to bless the works of your hands.
Thank you.
Listen, you're welcome. Knowledge is very powerful. And information that you guys share with us, I'm going to pass it on.
Please.
I appreciate it so much. Yeah, I write a lot tonight.
That's why we said bring book and pencil.
Right? I write a lot, and I'm going to pass it on. Thank you guys so much.
We couldn't have, we appreciate everything. So, Diani, we're doing top 5 today or no? Or tomorrow? No?
Yeah, my top 5 is every Sunday.
Okay, got you. So, guys, tune into their program as well. It's on Ride Along platform with Junior. You saw he tuned in to support us tonight as well, all the way from New York. And it's just a network. It's just collaborating over competition. That's what we do.
Yes.
All right, guys. So, we got
guys, thank everybody.
See you in
viewers, don't forget,
right,
guys, to tune into Diani's show, the top 5 on Sundays.
Sunday at 5.
Which is at 5 p.m. And Diani, remember, what good?
What good?
Okay. And
I love it.
the information, guys, if you want to contact either Diani or Michelle, you can go back to the comments section and you will find it there.
Yeah, it's pinned in the comment. It's pinned.
Okay, so
their information, Michelle and Diani information is pinned in a comment in there.
Comment.
Okay, there you have it. So we'll see you next week. We'll see you at the top because the bottom is too crowded. See ya.
Bottom is too crowded.
Good night, guys.
Bye, everybody.